Hey, welcome into the 3A Boys State Basketball Tournament Preview Show. I'm Paul Kingsbury, and I am joined tonight, and I'm going to be joined all weekend with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Laif Morrison. Laif, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Paul. How are you doing?
I'm good. Sorry you've been waiting in the green room so long. Everybody's got a little chatty tonight, but there's some great information being kicked out there. And like I said, this one's probably going to be the best. You and I are going to be on the 3A tournament at Capitol High School. And that's, in my opinion, the best facility to broadcast from. You're right there. They feed you well, which is really the important thing. And it's just a good time. So I'm excited to have you with me for the 3A tournament. This is the first time you've done state basketball.
Yeah, I've always wanted to kind of do state basketball, so it was pretty cool when I got the call. Pretty jacked about it, actually. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what you do, and a little bit about your background and how long you've been with us.
Yeah, Laif Morrison is my name. Glens Ferry product. Go Pilots. I was a head football coach in Glens Ferry for a while, and now I run the Idaho Bowl, which is a youth-wide bowl game. You're very involved in that, along with Idaho Sports. So I'm actually looking at the list of the 3A tournament. We have kids from almost every single one of these teams that'll be playing at the Idaho Bowl this summer. So that's pretty cool. Future kids that'll be playing maybe in the state tournament or maybe in, state football or whatever. So pretty excited about that. Coached high school football, did a couple years in Burley, coaching at Kimberly this year, back in the game under a headset. So excited about that. And then been broadcasting with you. I think I did the first football game, 8 years ago. Didn't do it for a long time. And then you got me there 2 years ago, I think. And it's been a lot of fun since.
It has. You and I become friends, which is nice.
We share memes back and forth, so we're pretty tight.
You share reels on Instagram. It's getting pretty serious.
It is getting real serious. Yeah, definitely.
Like Scott, you kind of left something out of your bio, and I don't know the background here.
Oh gosh.
There's last week, I believe, at a rager he was at. How old were you in this picture, Laif?
I had to be 22, maybe. I had some good-looking hair then. My goodness.
I don't even know how I have that picture. Don't even have any clue.
Well, I'm glad it's that one and not some other ones. So.
Could be worse.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, let's take a look at the 3A bracket. Let's get this thing rolling for us. Yeah. First up, number 3 Wendell versus number 6 New Plymouth. 2 Firth versus 7 Marsing. Number 1 Declo at versus number 8 Orofino. Number 4 Ambrose, the returning champions, versus number 5 Soda Springs. Anything pop out at you here on this bracket?
Yeah, I really like that first matchup, that Wendell New Plymouth matchup. I think Wendell is kind of a sleeper team in this whole bracket. I mean, they're putting up almost 60 points a game. They've got 4 guys averaging over 10 points a game. They're just hard to stop. I broadcast them a game of them versus Kimberly, and they lost, but they played really, really good. They have the Swainston twins. And they're just unbelievable. So Wendell, what's that?
Call them the 4 J's.
The 4 J's. Yeah, I did see that.
And Jared, they actually call them the 4 J's. They all average double digits, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, they're fun to watch in person. They play super high speed, fast basketball. So Wendell, I feel like, they're a 3 seed coming into this, but they're in my mind the biggest sleeper here that could really make some noise if they can get past that New Plymouth team that plays really good defense.
Yeah, and speaking of New Plymouth, it's been a while since I think it's been 8 years since they won the district tournament.
Yeah,
but it's been 32 years since they won a state championship. I'm going to play Gary Jones. There's that.
Awesome. Paul Kingsbury's a state champ.
Best seat in the house on the bench the whole game. I was there.
So you weren't getting talked about on the Prepcast back 34 years ago, probably.
No, Gary Jones was actually on the radio call of that game with Ron. Yeah, and I have the audio of that, which is pretty cool. They don't say they said my name in the starting line or not in the lineups where they announce everybody because they have to be nice. So yeah, good times.
More times than a lot of people get announced in a state championship game. So good work, man. That's pretty cool.
Well, New Plymouth comes in and they've got height. And we'll talk about this later on, but that's something. If you've got height in a state tournament, especially in the 3A, 2A, 1A, that helps. And so you're right. That Wendell New Plymouth game is one of those matchups where I was actually looking forward to it too.
Yeah.
'Cause 3-6, and they can be pretty evenly matched. That Firth Morrison game, it's Firth. Firth won 7 titles in 10 years. Between 2007, they had a 4-peat and a 3-peat, and they had T-shirts that were like, "If you're not Firth, you're second." And it was
Oh man, that's great.
And so Firth Marsing, Declo Orofino, Declo, number 1 seed in their district tournament, and they lost.
Yeah.
They had to come back. And they still got the number 1 seed at state, so they're going up against Orofino. And it's been a long time since the Maniacs have been at state, Laif.
Yeah, they kind of came out of nowhere too, won their conference championship. I think they were a 4th seed going into the conference play, ended up winning the whole thing, getting a bid to come to the state tournament. And they're facing a really, really good Declo team. Like I said, lost 1 game. That group of kids, going back into football, I think they've only lost 3 games since the fall, 1 being the state championship in football. And then, like you said, earlier this year, Soda Springs. That's a really good Declo team, but Orofino's hot. I mean, they're riding a 5-game win streak, and it's kind of like March Madness. Anything can happen once you get into tournament play, and if a team's hot, that's tough, man.
Orofino's been 17 years. 2008 was the last time. That was about the time that picture of you was taken.
Did I just stop it? It actually was. I probably still have that shirt, actually.
You have a bandana. That's really what
I am sure that I do. I'm sure that
right.
I do.
And the nightcap is going to be a good one. Ambrose versus Soda Springs. New coach, Jordan Whitberg. They were the champs last year coming in. They've got that target on their back. 15-8, 10-2 in conference. And got the number 4 seed in a very tough, that bottom half of the bracket's tough because of Declo, right? In the top half of the bracket, you've got Firth. So on paper, you're kind of looking at a 1-2 matchup in the championship, Declo Firth. But like you said, anything can happen. And in this tournament, and we'll talk about it when we go to the players to watch, we've got shooters on every single one of these teams. It's going to be fast-paced action at Capitol. The last great gymnasium is what they call it there. And it's going to be raining threes. I guarantee it all 3 days.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun for us because that's fun basketball to be a fan of and to watch. And so I'm really excited that we got slotted. It helps that you're probably picking where we're getting slotted, but it's nice we get slotted in at the 3A tournament where they're gonna be scoring a lot of points. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, Marsing has had 5 games over 73 points and 3 games over 80. So they can seriously put up the points. It's going to be a lot of fun, kind of up and down the bracket. Is like you said, I think Declo and Firth are the favorites, but Wendell's a big sleeper, and Ambrose another big sleeper, and even Soda Springs. I mean, they like to slow the game down and play a lot of half-court basketball, and they've won a lot of games that they probably shouldn't just by slowing the game down and forcing people to play in an uncomfortable situation.
Well, let's take a look. We've got a few comments come in. Take this opportunity, hit the like button, hit like and share, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit that like button right now. It's easy. Just do it, okay? First up, a friend of ours, a good friend, a brother, really. Where is it? Doug Swanson calling us pretty boys.
Oh, I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Gary Jones, go Pilgrims. Gary was a teacher there. He was my teacher in high school, actually.
Gary's picture is pretty cool.
And I was looking for that picture. He always dressed up. Spirit Week, and that was a Halloween. I think it was Halloween, but it was Superman, and he wore the underoos tights with it. It was scarred. Hayden's back says, now I'm not saying Orofino's going to win it, but they are a team that can catch fire and beat anyone, plus first appearance since 2008. So that's true. And Kobe comes in. Orofino's got the best mascot in the country. The Maniacs. Yes. And we will talk about that. It predates the asylum they've got up there. But yeah, we'll talk about it during the games. But let's take a look at our players to watch. Laif. For the 2A, let's go to 3A.
I do like those guys too.
Ambrose, Carter Robinson, Declo, Bryson Anderson, Firth, Juan Ponce of Marsing, Cohen Evans of New Plymouth, Blake Barlow of Orofino, Cooper Thompson, Soda Springs, and Jordan Swinston of Wendell. Who you're looking forward to seeing on this list.
I saw him once earlier this year, but I really love Swanston from Wendell. He's so dynamic, plays good defense too, and is all over the court. Him and his brother are kind of, they can take over a game if they want to. So that Wendell squad is, like I said it before, they're going to be fun to watch, and they're kind of my sleeper team. I'm excited to watch Jordan Swanston in that first game of the day, actually, which is going to be a lot of fun.
And see, Jonathan is the leading scorer on the team. And so when kind of choosing our players to watch, but Jordan, he averages 14.5, but he gets a little over 4 rebounds. He's got 4 assists, 2 steals. And so he's kind of the more complete, I don't want to say complete player, but wrong. But just with those stats, it's a dynamic duo with those twins. Plus you get the other 2 J's in there. And that's tough. You've got Cohen Evans, 6'9", from New Plymouth. We talked about height in these tournaments. If you can have a post, and if they utilize that post, right? Mm-hmm. That is so big in these tournaments. If you can do that, the one thing that I saw, he's got like 47% free throws. So
yeah,
got to work on the free throws, man.
The hack-a-shack is real.
So let's take a look at. Also, I'm looking forward to Carter Robinson of Declo, and kid's a shooter. He's 5% field goals, 38. 3 points, made 46 3-pointers this year, but he can just go off. Emmett Gibby on that team as well, averaged a double-double, 14 points. Carter Robinson, though, they call him Sea Dog, is friends call him, so that's what we're going to call him because we're obviously friends. But Lincoln Mathis of Ambrose, 6'3", 21 points a game, almost 10 boards, 3 assists, over a block a game, and 77% from the free throw line. The kid's going to play baseball at CSI. He's one of the best left-handed pitchers in the state. And those guys, especially when you get 3A down, you're athletes, right? It's not like a Highland and a Rocky Mountain where you've got 200 kids trying out for football and you've got 20 kids trying out for basketball. Your athletes are your athletes, right? And he's that guy for Ambrose. And he's actually I think he's the only senior on our players to watch. Everybody else are juniors. We got a sophomore in Blake Barlow of Orofino, Bryson Anderson from Firth, 10.7 boards. Mm-hmm. They've got a big 3 in Firth. Laif, they've got Anderson, of course, but then Kilpack and then Michael Adams. So all these teams really are just stacked. Mm-hmm. And number 1 through number 8, does it really matter? When teams actually get on the court, does it matter?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. This is actually a young tournament. I think Marsing's got the most impact seniors. They've got 4 guys that are averaging double figures, and they're seniors. But for the most part, it's really an underclassmen-led bracket, which is going to be a lot of fun, not for just this year, but for years to come. There's a lot of really good basketball that's going to be played at 3A level for 2, 3, 4 years. We're going to be saying a lot of these guys' names over and over and over again.
That's been a theme. There was a theme in the girls' tournament, and even in the other classifications of this tournament, there's a lot of youth. There's just a ton of youth in the state. And so these next 2-3 years, there's going to be some good basketball games.
I agree.
We got Wyatt chiming in, excited to listen this weekend. 3A sports are always the best. #Lafer. So, hey. Wyatt, how you doing, man? Wyatt was a podcast partner this year.
I know you crept in. Wyatt's been my guy this year. We broadcast 4 or 5 games together. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, Wyatt, good guy. All right, so let's do what everyone else has done. I guess I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either. We're gonna continue the tradition, though, huh?
I don't know. You and I mean, who's gonna stop us?
Yeah, true.
I'm gonna say on paper it looks like a Declo for match championship, right? However, Ambrose, they're the returning champions. They're the champion until someone beats them, right? That Wendell New Plymouth. And it's all about matchups when you get to the state tournament. You can be for instance, a number 6 New Plymouth. Okay, maybe no one can match up with the height they've got. Mm-hmm. Maybe somebody just goes on a tear, and just starts hitting 3. At the state tournament, anything can happen. And we say that in every classification, but honestly, in this 3A tournament, I think it's actually true.
Yes.
I think any team, I think Declo or Orofino would be the toughest for Declo. Everybody else, I think going into it, everybody's beatable, I think.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
everybody's.
Too. I mean, you could have a Wendell Amber Rose state champion, you could championship, a Declo Firth, a Declo New Plymouth. Like they're really, I mean, you could just pull these names out of a hat. All these teams are fairly even across the board. Like you said, Orofino's got the toughest first round draw for sure because Declo is what Declo is. But they also lost to Soda Springs earlier in the
Right.
conference. And I mean, did Soda figure them out? You know, what's going on there? And you know that the Orofino coach has the Soda coach on the horn being like, hey, how?
Talk to me.
How did you do it?
Talk to me. And of course, they're in the same tournament. He's like, pound sand, brother.
Yeah. Let's play round 2.
Yeah. All right. Laif, you and I are going to be at Capitol High School Thursday, Friday, and then we're going to the Ford Idaho Center to do the championship game. We're going to have a sub come in for us on those third place and consolation games in the morning. But it's going to be a good time. I honestly think we have the best tournament. Hands down. We have the best tournament.
I agree.
A lot of fun.
Come visit us. Bring us some. What do you want? Mountain Dews? Big Mountain Dew guy?
I kind of like Mountain Dew. Kind of. Yeah. Come up and say
you own a Mountain Dew hat. You like Mountain Dew.
it's right there, actually, right there on the wall.
Yeah.
No, and in Capitol, where we're at, we're set up in the bleachers in the lower deck, and so there's people all the way around us. Love it when people come up and say hi.
Awesome.
So that's going to do it for the 3A Boys State Basketball Tournament Preview Show. It's going to be a fun one. So stay tuned. We've got 2A coming up next right here on IdahoSports.com.